Hello there, this is a time-lapse video of a doghouse that we built around a water pump. In 2021, around February, we had a real bad freeze and we had some issues with our water pump. Not really breaking, but having a small leak. However, that was also during the COVID-19 pandemic, and so there was a lot of issues with getting replacement parts. So what we decided to do was to get the water pump out of the wind and protect it a little bit better. So right now we're just making all the side panels, and we're covering them with an exterior paint. We go over, I think, 3 different coats to put a real thick coat on every single portion of the frame and the outside panels. It didn't work so much on the inside, but this is pressure. All the plywood is pressure treated, and all the wood that's used in general is pressure treated, so it has good protection from the outside elements. But we wanted to add a little extra more protection by putting this exterior paint on. Red probably wasn't the best color in hindsight, but it is what we had, so we used what we had. We did make a little bit of a rafter here using a combination of a table saw and a miter saw, and then we put a 2x4 in the middle to support. This was a little tricky. Didn't have anyone to help, so I had to make a little lever there so that I could get this. And it is a little off-centered, or it's not completely flush, but that was by intention, to have a little bit of a hanging roof on one end as opposed to the other. So now that the paint's dry, we're just applying all of the panels, and now we're working on applying the doors to the doghouse or the water pump. So this actually ended up being a particularly problematic process. Had to go back quite a few times and try and just shave off just a little bit at a time, because we weren't able to get the door to shut just right. And so what we ended up doing is installing a extra piece of wood in the middle of both sides, so that whenever it locked, it would stay shut in that certain location. And instead of using an actual metal lock, we just got a piece of leftover 2x4, or excuse me, plywood, and just made a little hinge lock. And now we're putting on the roof. It's the first time I've done anything with roofing, so it was a learning process. So we try to do the hanging part first, and then just slowly work our way up. And so there's, of course, 2 different sides here, so lots of nails. I think I used a lot more nails than was needed, but I wanted to make sure that it stayed in place. And so this is just going on and on until we're done. So I think we do have some footage of the other side as well. But yeah, I think yep. And then at the top we had to add a little overlay, so you can see that now at the top. So we ended up going almost triple layer on the top, which was interesting. And so we do a little ridge all the way through. The other opposite side, or the side furthest away, is facing north, so that's why we decided to do it that way. But appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. It was an interesting project, needless to say, but we'll have more footage later on. Thank you.